Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another capsule series selection. Today, I want to dive into a fragrance category that I'm enjoying this winter time. And I know that through the next couple weeks, I'm going to be enjoying this particular scent profile and category of fragrances. This is the woody leathers. I have quite a few woody leather fragrances in my collection, but today I want to point out 5 particular fragrances. One, which is my scent of the day from the house of Javoy, and the other 2 fragrances come from distinctively 2 fragrance houses that are in the niche category. One is Mancera, and the other one is Scent of Woods. So if this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuances of scent, cigars, and wine. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. So today, like I stated, we're going to dive right into a category which I thoroughly enjoy in the late fall, early winter time, where you can really bring out some of the most robust, highly projecting, highly pure fragrances from your collection that are very woody, very leathery, slight touches of balsams, and slight touches of very earthy appeal to them. And so today I want to introduce you guys to not only this category in 2 distinctive fragrance houses, but make this 3 distinctive fragrance houses. This is my scent of the day, and this is the scent private label done by Cecile Zarokian for the house of Javoy Paris. Very nicely done scent by the house of Javoy, penned by Cecile Zarokian. This is a scent that came out in 2011, and as I stated, this is my scent of the day, which really was the calling for me to do this video for you guys. This is a scent that is very woody, slightly animatic, very woody. The amount of care given to this particular scent. This is a tweed jacket. This is a wool jacket, a mohair jacket, a mohair sweater. This is really intentional for sophisticated, intelligent, informed individuals that really like a woody scent, really want to come off charismatic, but also in your James Bond type of mold. This is very masculine. It has a slight bit of labdanum for a balsamic touch, some smoky birch, smoky papyrus accords, and of course it's toppled by a mid-heart of patchouli, leather, and vetiver, which Cecile Zarokian really did a great job in perfuming this particular scent. To me, this, if not for one of the best, this is one, I don't know if you guys are hip to Aqua Noir. Aqua Noir is the child of this. I would say that this is the more sophisticated, the blend is just, the premium blend on it is very spectacular. Once again, this is a very James Bond style of fragrance. Sean Connery, James Bond, where you really have a certain amount of charismatic touch about you, very suave and very smooth in the way you present yourself. Private label, Javoy, penned by Cecile Zarokian. Great fragrance. So next up, guys, what I want to start in this list, I have 2 particular fragrance houses that have done some very superior jobs with blending of woody leather fragrances. And to me, I want to showcase this one because I think that these 4 particular fragrances, depending on how you feel about leather and wood, how you feel about bringing across a certain sophistication and a certain amount of air of je ne sais quoi about yourself, these 2 particular fragrance houses and these 4 particular fragrances in specific order will give you a great touch of leather and wood. First off, I want to introduce you guys to the scent of Leather and Armanier. This is a very sophisticated woody leather fragrance built around it's built around a very very touch of violet and jasmine with a robust base of Madagascar pepper and Sri Lankan cardamom. It's a very spicy. It also has some balsamic touches from the Gurjun blossom. Also has vetiver in the mid. It has this very peculiar woody floral touch from a flower called the leatherwood flower. It's not one that is used very often, so this might be the first time that you're actually hearing the word or term for a note leatherwood. But the way this particular scent comes off, if you are familiar with the fragrance Santal 33 by the House of Melabo. These two have a variation of about 85-90% likeness. I prefer this one because it's fresh accord of French lavender in addition to the guaiac wood and smoky touch. This one comes off a bit more sexier while also being a bit more doable and usability for it in the office setting because of the mid of violet and jasmine. Very, very nicely done woody scent by the House of Scent of Woods. Once again, that is Leather and Armagnac. Very, very sexy, appealing. Has some floral touches, like I stated. It comes off very, very well. This is a scent that has a transition to it. The opening is very, very fresh with the lavender and slight touches of the wood, but the violet is very, very prominent in the opening. Once it gets to the mid, the violet subdues itself. The jasmine floral touch comes up, which is a slight soapy vetiver or a slight soapy jasmine, which is very, very nice for this particular scent. And it then goes into that base of leather, spicy sweet cardamom, and Madagascar black pepper. They did a great job with this one over there at the House of Scent of Woods. Once again, that is Leather and Armagnac. And so next, what I want to present to you guys is this pleasant surprise that was gifted to me from the House of Scent of Woods. This is Ebony and Oak. And Ebony and Oak is one that was not even close to being on my radar from the House of Scent of Woods. But once I got it in from a friend of mine, a friend of this community, this thing has very much so turned into one of the most just dumb reach fragrances. It smells very, very sensual, very, very sexy. The leather in this is very, very smoky. This is a fruity, sweet fragrance that the name will come off. Ebony and Oak, it doesn't give it the just due in ways that you would think this would be a very dark, very, very stoic style of fragrance, but really it's a very, very appealing date night, dinner date, movie date, even a dance date. Whenever you want to go out, just a relaxing scent. This is actually going to go on my ski trip with me this particular winter because it actually can be the only scent that I take, and I'm very much so enjoying it at this point to make it that scent. But it comes off fruity, sweet. It has a cacao nut absolute in it. It has ebony in it, which is a nice smoky wood. It has the Madagascar geranium, which is a nice mid rose touch to this particular scent. Once again, this one has that Sri Lankan cardamom, which is a very, very nice, spicy, sweet note that they've come up with and gotten their hands on. Tonka bean is in this one. Virginia cedar is in this one. It also has the suede accord. And so with this one, I've come to enjoy this very greatly. So if you're a person that is in the genre of scents like ombre leather from the House of Tom Ford, if you are into scents like Cure Majest by Armani, this is one that is right up that alley, but it's a little bit smoother, a little bit more in the touch of fruity sweetness, but not juvenile at all. It's a very sexy, very appealing, very thought-provoking fragrance for anyone to wear. Once again, Ebony and Oak by the House of Scent of Woods, a great one to go as a companion piece to Leather and Armagnac. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as we transition from the House of Scent of Woods, I want to go over to the House of Mancera. Now, for me, Mancera is not a house that I really gravitate towards, but I do have two fragrances in my collection that I thoroughly enjoy. One is a second bottle of after purchasing the first bottle and giving it one away in a giveaway. But this one here, I don't need to speak too much about it. This is one of the twist off caps of Cedroc Boisé. And it still has that freshness, this sweet, smoky, succulent lemon, spices up top, vetiver, patchouli, crescent jasmine is in this one. This is a very nicely done leather woody scent by the House of Mancera. It's woody, it's citrus, it's fruity, a freshness about it, has a slight spicy quality about it, but overall it comes off with a hint of oak, moss, and woods with that currant note that is so appealing to many of us that are in love with the genre of Aventus. But this one here draws it back in to the woody tones of it. The patchouli very much so comes off as heady woody patchouli, along with that currant spices and Sicilian lemon that go throughout the entire blend of the fragrance. And it gives such an appeal and such an elegant touch to anyone's wardrobe, this is a very, very nice scent to have in your collection, especially when you want to go with leather woody fragrances that come off superbly. Once again, the House of Mancera, Citra Bazwe. And this is not the new intense version. This is the old style. And this one performs greatly. I only need 2 sprays of this to get my job done. Once again, Citra Bazwe, Mancera. Last up, but not least at all, but for this particular category of scents that are just superb leather woody fragrances, I want to introduce you guys. If you are not up on this particular scent, this is Black Gold by Mancera. This is a phenomenal lavender-based, violet-hearted leather woody fragrance that is basically, if you are into Russian leathers, this one comes off as a Russian leather but veers ever so slightly with a heavy dominance of the violet and jasmine mix. Now this one is more of the floral touch, a spicy floral touch to the leather and woods, but it's still prominent as a leather and wood in a dry down. Now, Manceras are a great perfume company who uses a lot of good materials, and their fragrances have a good longevity and transition period. So you're going to get the violet, you're going to get the jasmine, you're going to get the rose and geranium in this particular scent for a long period of time. So if you are a man that is scared of florals or don't like floral touch fragrances, this is not the leather woody for you. The woody tones come off in this one about 45 to 50 minutes into it, but once they get there, they are the impactful scent of this particular fragrance. Black Gold is just that. It's the leathery, wonderful touch of smooth, suede leathers, ambers, white musk, and some creamy sandalwood touches and ebony and vetiver mixed together to my nose. To my nose. You have a slight spice of nutmeg in this one as well. And the one that pushes this one more into the woody category, this one has a Nepalese oud in it that the company has really pushed forward in many of their fragrances to state that they have a Nepalese oud. I'm not familiar with Nepalese oud. I do know that when picking up certain fragrances from the House of Mancera, I detect that particular oud accord very much so often in their fragrances. Once again, it also has some marine notes, which makes it slight aquatic and fresh as well. So this makes this one of the more unique woody leather fragrances that you can get your nose on. It just piques people's interest, draw you in, draw people into you, experience the fragrance together. This is a great scent for women to enjoy because it has a slight floral and powdery effect to it, but they also enjoy it just because of the way it's a laid-back mannerism and sophisticated, charismatic type of jewel for men to wear. Once again, Black Gold by the House of Mancera. 4 great fragrances I think you guys should get your nose on, including my scent of the day, which is a more robust woody, James Bond-esque type of fragrance, or even like my man Jason Statham in The Transporter. This is the type of scent that Jason Statham, in his clean dress, just phenomenal wearing of suits, and about sporting, about life. You know, that's what we're here for. That's the type of thing, the mimicry that we don't want to be involved with and look at ourselves as. And this is one fragrance that if you want to say you are a badass that wears a suit, this is that particular scent. Once again, this is private label by Javoy. I've also presented you guys with some great fragrances from the House of Scent of Wood and the House of Mancera. I hope that in all ways you guys enjoyed this particular video, and if you did, all that I ask that you do is hit the subscribe button. Also, send the link off to a friend, share this, get over to my IG page, start to like and see what's going on with my IG page. I'm going to start posting more and more there about my daily wears and more about the content of this particular channel with more to come. And you guys have a great rest of 2024. This beginning day of is going to be so great for all of us as a family here at the Dry Down. Again, you guys stay blessed. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.